Look around the room you're sitting in right now, the walls around you, the air you breathe, the people walking outside. Everything feels normal, safe, predictable. But less than a century ago, ordinary people volunteered for experiments that would leave the world questioning how far science should ever go. And the strangest part is that many of the people conducting those experiments believed they were helping humanity. When most people imagine dangerous experiments, they picture explosions, chemicals, or machines gone wrong. But history tells a different story. The most dangerous experiments were not performed on bodies, they were performed on minds. Because once you understand how the human mind works, you gain something far more powerful than physical force. You gain the ability to influence behavior itself, and that is where our story begins. In the middle of the 20th century, the world was obsessed with understanding human behavior. Wars had demonstrated how entire populations could be manipulated. Governments wanted answers, scientists wanted answers, society wanted answers. One question haunted researchers. How far would ordinary people go if an authority figure told them to do something terrible? Most people believed they already knew the answer. Surely there was a limit. Surely normal people would refuse. Surely conscience would win. But then a psychologist decided to test that assumption. Volunteers arrived expecting to participate in a simple learning experiment. The setup appeared harmless: a teacher, a learner, a series of questions. Every time the learner answered incorrectly, the teacher was instructed to deliver an electric shock. The shocks increased step by step. What the volunteers didn't know was that the learner was an actor. The screams were pre-recorded. The pain was not real, but the volunteers believed it was. As the voltage climbed, cries echoed through the room, then came pounding on the walls, then desperate pleas to stop, then silence. And this is where the story becomes unsettling. Many participants continued anyway, not because they were cruel, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because a person in a lab coat calmly told them to continue. The results shocked the world. Ordinary people were capable of obeying authority far beyond what anyone expected. But that wasn't the strange part. The strange part was what happened next. Scientists realized something terrifying. If authority could influence behavior so easily, what else could shape human actions? The search for answers led researchers into even darker territory. In another famous experiment, volunteers were divided into two groups. One group became prisoners, the other became guards. Nothing more than a role-playing exercise. At least that was the plan. Within days, the situation spiraled out of control. Guards became increasingly aggressive. Prisoners became emotionally distressed. The line between acting and reality disappeared. People began behaving as though the artificial prison were real. The experiment ended early, not because the study was complete, because it had become dangerous. What happened inside those walls revealed something deeply uncomfortable. Human behavior is often shaped less by personality than by environment. Change the situation, change the rules, change the social structure, and people can become almost unrecognizable. For centuries, humanity liked to believe evil came from monsters, but experiments like these suggested something far more disturbing. Under certain conditions, ordinary individuals could do extraordinary things, both good and bad, and that realization created a moral crisis. Because every discovery raised another question: how much knowledge is worth the cost of obtaining it? The more scientists learned about human behavior, the more society began creating limits. Ethics committees emerged, new regulations appeared. Experiments that once seemed acceptable became unthinkable. The goal was simple: never allow curiosity to outweigh human dignity. But even today, the lessons remain. The most dangerous experiments in history did not reveal hidden monsters living among us. They revealed something far more complex. They revealed us, the fears we carry, the pressures we obey, the invisible forces shaping our choices every day. And somewhere, right now, as you listen to this, your own decisions are being influenced by people, systems, and environments you rarely notice. The strangest part is that most of us believe we are completely in control. Yet history suggests a different possibility, that the greatest experiment has never truly ended. It is happening all around us, and every single one of us is still participating.